Great. Well, Tyra and I are going to give you guys a little rundown of how our freshman year went. I'm currently a sophomore, so that wasn't too long ago for me. My name's Maddie. I'm the intern for School to Career. I was born in Topton, Pennsylvania, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's near Kutztown University, if you guys know where that is. And I'm currently a sophomore biology major at Pitt, and I'm on the pre-dental track because I want to become a dentist one day. Right. And Tyra, you can go next if you want.
Hey, my name is Tyra. I'm a junior fashion merchandising major, marketing minor at Kent State University. I went to Kappa for middle school and high school, and I majored in dance there. Tyrese.
I'm up. All right. Well, my name is Tyrese. I graduated from Carrick High School. As of right now, I'm a junior at Slippery Rock University. And my major is physical education. So, future goal. I forgot about that too. Future goal, I mainly want to become like a middle school gym teacher in a sense. And the reason why is because like I want to help kids change their future as they're going midway through life. So that's pretty much it as far as future goals wise.
Awesome. And now that you've heard a little bit about us, I want to hear a little bit about our high school students here today. So if you would please answer this poll. So I see most of you plan to attend a four-year university, awesome, or community college, also awesome, trade school, and I have no idea, and that's totally fine.
That's me.
That's you, Carla. All right, great. Ninth grade, that's Trinity, right?
Yes, I'm a freshman.
Awesome. Who's our 10th graders?
Me. We're Brea.
Me. Right now.
All right, and someone else. 11th graders?
I put 10th grade.
Okay. Our 11th graders?
Right here.
Michael. And our 12th grader.
I think that was me too. Yeah, I said it was. That was me.
All right, sounds good. We got a mix of grades, though. So. All right. Awesome. So since we have a mix of you all, if you want to go to four-year university or get your associate's degree, go to community college, those are all great tracks, but don't feel pressured to attend college if you know that's not for you. Working, you could go straight into get a job right out of high school. It's all up to you. To get a good feel of what college courses would be like, and if I was like prepared to handle it out of high school, I tried to take a lot of AP classes. So you know your workload. And if you're afraid that you won't be able to afford college, that was a big concern for me too. I got a work study job last year. I have a work study job this year at School to Career. And so working while in college is possible, but make sure you know your limits, you know yourself best. Tyra and Tyrese, did either of you have work study jobs?
You said jobs, work study jobs? No, as of right now, I don't. I've never really got into the work study program myself personally, but I heard that it could benefit you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I know for me it was really helpful. So I could save up money while I was in school, try and lessen the debt while I'm still taking college classes. But what about you, Tyra? Did you work while you were in high school? I mean, while you were in college?
No, I didn't work while in school, but I worked during the summer in between semesters. I just didn't want to like focus on both at the same time. And then like as far as money, like my mom covered my tuition pretty well, and I had a lot of scholarships coming into school freshman year, so I was kind of set.
Yeah, scholarships are a great way too. Right. And I've got another quick poll for you guys. Next slide talks about what schools you guys are interested in, like what size. All right, I see. We are tied between large school and medium-sized school. And one of you chose a small school. If you want to, you all can tell me which one of you chose large and medium and small.
I chose large.
Large.
I chose large.
I chose large.
Awesome. Why did you guys pick large?
I want to get like
a campus.
Sorry, say that again.
I don't want to go to a small campus. I want the real college experience.
So a big school like Pitt.
I want to do everything.
Awesome.
Michael just said in the chat, he said medium size, but it doesn't really matter to him.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. I personally, out of high school thought I wanted to go to a small school, which is really strange since I ended up at Pitt, which is definitely a large city school. I'm not sure what size your schools are, Tyra and Tyrese.
I could speak on mine for a little bit. Like Trinity had said, I also wanted a large school. I wanted the campus feel. That's why I chose Kent State. It's a pretty large school. Their campus is basically the whole city of Kent. So I wanted to be like that. Pitt, for me personally, Pitt doesn't have my major, but also it's too like spread out for me. And since I live up the street, it wouldn't have been like ideal for me personally. So I did want to be on a campus and like an own community, not like within the city.
Yeah, I definitely do walk a
It
lot.
didn't have your major?
What'd you say?
You said Pitt didn't have your major?
No, I go to school for fashion merchandising and Pitt does not offer that.
Wow, that's weird.
A lot of schools in PA do not offer. So unfortunately, I couldn't use like the Pittsburgh Promise and stuff leaving school, but I'm still close, kind of.
I can honestly say the same about me too, because within my major, I've always wanted to go to a big school too, because bigger schools leave bigger opportunities, and especially schools like Pitt, Penn State, who else, like Notre Dame and all those schools, they offer plenty of opportunities. And unfortunately, most of them didn't have the major that I'm going for, which is physical education. And Slippery Rock was one of the only schools that had it. Other schools had like fitness management, physical therapy, and physical director and all of those other ones, but physical education just wasn't one of them. So that's why I mainly chose Slippery Rock in itself.
Yeah, the reason why I chose Pitt was because they have a really good dental program. So that's why, and I knew I couldn't go to a small school like I wanted and still get like a good dental education that I needed. So I'm glad that I made my choice though. I think I'm liking it better at a large school than I would at a small school, but it really depends on you and your major. Who said a small school?
It was me. I was trying to speak, but I'm okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Shonda, which Pitt are you at?
Pitt Greensburg. I'm at Pitt Greensburg.
And Shonda is one of our other graduates. She's a sophomore at Pitt Greensburg, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I almost went to Pitt Johnstown. I was looking into that before I decided on the main campus.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't like it though.
Oh, the satellite campus. You could always move to main campus, right?
Yeah, I can. I just want to just finish my sophomore year here and then transfer over maybe my junior year, or maybe not. Yeah.
If you do, contact me. We can get lunch or something.
Okay.
All right. So picking a school that fits you, there are a ton of options. I know I was overwhelmed, especially with all the mail that you get as a senior in high school. They send you everything. But to narrow it down, I looked at majors first and then pretty much everything else second. So for me, it was like making sure that the school had my major and then making sure that I could afford it. And looking at size, distance from home, I'm 5 hours from home, which is a little far, but I knew I wanted to stay in Pennsylvania. so that I wouldn't have to pay out of state tuition, and what AP scores they accept for credit. So if you're taking an AP class, and you score like a 3 on an AP test, some colleges will only accept a 4 or above. Pitt, I know, accepts 3 or above for most of theirs, so mine were all good, but that's another thing to check into. And also, when I was narrowing it down, I made a whole Excel spreadsheet, love Excel, to compare schools that I like before applying. So I made like a column for majors, size, cost, distance from home, and everything, and the amount of money that they were willing to give me. If I got like scholarships that were specific to that school, was also very helpful, helped narrow down my choice. How did you guys decide, Tyrese and Tyra?
You want to go first, Tyra, or you want me?
It don't matter.
All right, I'll go. I know my senior year in high school, like it was tough, honestly, because like Maddie was saying, with all the mails and stuff that you're getting. When it comes to picking a school, though, first off, you definitely want to take tours because you want to see if the atmosphere and the surrounding is best for you. Because you never know if you just want to rush into a school and then all of a sudden, bam, it's not good. Now you're stuck because now you done already paid for it, and you know if you back out of it now, you're going to have loans to pay. You're going to have something to pay off. So you definitely want to look at size. You definitely want to look at the major to see if the school has the major for you. If they don't, see if there's something similar to it that you might want to, you might want to think you could be best for you. Honestly, it's schools nowadays is getting tough. So you definitely want to make that decision, be certain. Now it's also good to go in undecided as well, because the best thing is always what I've always heard is going undecided, because you never know on what you might like and what you don't like as well. And honestly, when it comes to picking a school that fits you, in my experience, I honestly wish that I could have started with CCAC, because, nowadays CCAC gets its bad rep, and CCAC is not a bad school whatsoever. And that gives you a chance to get that college experience firsthand, especially within however long you want to stay there, first 2 years, 1 year, couple months. You could get away and get done with so much and have that transfer over to a 4-year university, or any university for that matter, if you truly want to go.
Yeah, I agree. I dual enrolled in a couple of my classes in high school, along with getting like high enough AP scores on some of the tests. So I came into my freshman year of college with 12 credits. So that meant I didn't have to take a lot of the gen ed, so I could start taking classes for like a lot of higher level biology classes to see if that was what I wanted to major in. And that really worked out for me.
For me, I always knew what school I wanted to go to. Like once I decided what my major was, Kent State was like the only option for me, because I knew I didn't want to be at a school in New York, which is like the top city for fashion. So I definitely agree with Tyrese though, looking at like taking tours and seeing what the campus looks like, because one of the schools in New York that I was considering, I visited the campus and I hated it. So the atmosphere definitely plays a big part in how you're going to perform in that school, because I knew like being at that New York school, I would not have like excelled as much as I am here at my university. And then along with like courses, I know like our public schools in Pittsburgh, they don't offer like too many AP classes or courses where you can do like dual enrollment. So for students, if you want to like knock out gen ed classes before going into college, I would suggest taking them at CCAC during your junior or senior year, so that you can like knock out those gen ed classes and can graduate earlier depending on your major.
Yeah, that's kind of my high school. The dual enrollment was like for Reading Area Community College. So I technically took classes there, but they let me take high school classes that were college level, I guess. So that worked out really nice, and it helped me save some money also and time. And also this picture is a picture of one of the lecture halls at Pitt. So if you're a student that likes one-on-one time with professors, that's also another, or teachers, that's another thing taken into account if you in a big or small school. So I was in the lecture hall with like 300 kids, and I never really met my professor one-on-one. So it all depends on how you are.
You can teach 300 kids at once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So I'll speak on that a little bit.
I want to say supposedly. You can supposedly teach 300 kids at once. Just as someone who sat in a lot of big education lectures had to say that. Sorry.
Right. No, so like professors, you have to like think of it as like they don't care about you necessarily as a student. And I'm sorry to like say it like that, but like in these big lectures, they don't really care if like you grasp the information or not. They're just putting it out there, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So for these big lectures, if you know you're a student that does need one-on-one with your professor, I'd say it's best to make that happen. So your first day of class, when class is over, or come a little earlier, go up to your professor and say like, hi, like introduce yourself, what your name is, your major, and like build a relationship with that professor so that when you email them, they know who you are. You can have that one-on-one time. You just have to like really work for it, because some professors, they don't care. They won't respond to emails in a timely manner. But like if you make it known that you're a student who does need a little extra attention, they'll pay more attention to you.
And what Tyra said was definitely true. And I've always learned something from Miss Carla as well, is that you have to annoy your professors as well, because you have to show them that you really want that grade, like you really want to learn. Because if you show them that and you annoy them, they're going to think like, okay, I'm getting tired of this. I understand that he or she wants this done. So that makes them think, all right, let me help them out if they want to help me out. So it's definitely good to annoy your professors as well. Even if they don't respond, it doesn't matter. You have to get in contact with them in somehow, shape, or form.
And it also like helps with networking too. If you're constantly in your professor's face about like things that you need help on or things, they can also connect you to like other people or other positions that like may appeal to you. Because if you show that like you're passionate about what you're doing, they'd like that. They're gonna like say like, oh, this person is determined, let me give them something that could help them in their career or something.
Yeah, professors write recommendations, so it's good to try and get like personal relationships with them. I know, and also for like trying to get points back on exams and stuff, I went to my calculus professor's office hours and basically like begged him for a point back and kind of like argued my side of like why I put that answer and stuff. And he did give me 1 point back, and like it rounded up my grade a little bit. So it is good. It's worth putting the extra effort in for.
And you might not think a point makes a difference, guys, but it does, because in college it can mean the difference between a B minus and a B plus, and that makes a difference on your transcripts. You all don't get plus and minuses in high school, in most cases in Pittsburgh Public, but in college that plus can mean a whole lot. So those extra points, oh, he's adorable, Tyrese. Those extra points make a difference. I don't think I ever said bother and annoy your professor. I just said get to know them, Tyrese.
Uh-huh.
Oh. All right. Leaving the nest. So when you go off to college, if that's what you choose to do, you are going to move out of your regular life and into a whole new dorm college living situation. So this is what this isn't a picture of my dorm room freshman year, but this is what.
Are you in a dorm right now?
I am.
Cool.
I am
It's
also
a
in
little
a
bit
dorm,
bigger,
but it's not my own.
Yep, it's a little bit bigger. My roommate's laughing at me. But yeah, freshman year dorms are quite small. This is a picture of what mine kind of looked like last year. And
Same here.
Yeah, they were really tiny. As a sophomore, I got a little bit of a bigger room, but I still share a room with a roommate because I love having a roommate. I also got very lucky with both of my roommates. Love my one from last year, love my current one. It was great. Did you guys have any roommate problems?
Freshman year, yeah. And it was yeah and no at the same time.
I did.
My
did you guys
roommate
deal
has
with
been
it?
the same since freshman year.
Oh, she got lucky.
I mean, we've had some bumps in the road, but I didn't want to like change room. I don't like people enough to continue to change roommates. So we met a little bit before freshman year started, decided that we would be roommates, and we told each other that we're just going to deal with each other for the time that we're here.
So
And say it again.
can you choose your own roommate?
Yeah, you can request roommates if you know someone going to the same school as you, or you meet someone that you know that you want to room with. You can put in a request. The easiest way to put in the request, there's like a questionnaire. I know my school had to do one. I'm pretty sure other schools do too. There's a questionnaire that you have to fill out about like your preferences and stuff. Just make sure you and your roommate put exactly the same thing and put each other's names on it. That's the main way to guarantee. Typically, there's not really situations where like you request someone and you don't get that roommate, but to make sure, just answer all those questionnaire questions the same way.
Yeah, for Pitt, also there was like a huge Facebook group for the class of 2023. So I went in there looking for a roommate for freshman year because I didn't know, well, I wasn't really close with the two girls from my high school that were coming to Pitt, and I didn't really want to room with either of them. So I put a post in the Facebook group chat like, hi, my name's Maddie, saying like what major I am, everything, and asking if anybody was looking for a roommate, just so that I wouldn't have to randomly get a roommate. But then I ended up going random anyway, and it worked out perfect. But yeah, I know a lot of schools have Facebook group chats like that. So
Yeah, that was the same for my school too. My school had this fair to where we all had to go and attend, and from my school, I didn't really have anybody that was coming at first that I knew of until late. And when I did find out, I was kind of upset about it because my freshman year roommate, he was I can weird. Yeah, I'm gonna just go off with that. He was weird. It was strange being in there. I tried the best I could to manage it, and it ended up working out fine. But yeah, then the second year came, and it felt like it was just getting worse from there. And as my friends started to move off campus, it started getting kind of hard. So it was different for me. So
yeah, and if
Is it
you,
easy to make friends in college?
yeah, to me, yes. I think that it's all you have to do is just speak. If you speak up and show the person that you are, I think honestly, it's a 50-50 chance that it's a shoot or miss.
mhm.
Yeah, for me, like I said before, I don't really like people. I'm not very outgoing. I mean, in S2C, I was definitely like the outgoing one there, but I have a small little circle of friends. I didn't care to branch out farther than that. Sometimes me and my friend group are like, dang, we should really go meet some more people, but it depends on who you are. If you're very outgoing, it'll be very easy to make friends. Once you find a group, you'll probably stick with them or you won't, and that's also okay. Falling out is common in friend groups. I had falling out with a friend who I thought, is going to last a lifetime. Not the case. So I say explore, like who you come in with may not be who you stay with, and that's okay. You might meet people in classes or something. So it can be easy.
Yeah, my whole floor was freshmen, so we were all kind of terrified and looking for friends. So for me, it was pretty easy also. And I became best friends with my roommate also. And my current roommate and I are close too. So. And also part of living in a dorm, taking care of yourself physically and mentally. Eat regularly and try and choose healthy foods, which are hard to come by in a lot of like the dining halls at colleges. Mine isn't too bad. There's like a salad bar and stuff, but it can be tough. Do you guys have similar experiences with that?
Oh,
Cool.
wow. You first.
So the dining halls are terrible at my school. There, I eat at one place every day. I eat the same meals. If I eat another pizza, I'm sick of it. So personally, I think it's best if you have like a store near your school. I like to shop, so I'll get food before like the semester starts so I could have food in my room. Microwavable food is not the best food, but you know, once you get in the habit of it, you'll never take your mama cooking for granted again. I tell y'all that.
Oh, yes.
Because eating is terrible in school. You will find yourself eating the same meals every day. You're going to hate to eat things once you get back home. Like you might get suggested to eat something. You're like, no, I'm not touching that again. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
I think my kid is
absolutely-
having a different experience because I swear I want to go to Ohio State so I can eat some of the food Catrice eats.
Catrice, you like your food at school?
Like, okay, the regular dining halls, that's a hit or a miss depending on which one you go to. Sometimes it's not good, other times it's good. Most times it just needs seasoning and butter. When you have both, it's okay. But the other places on campus besides the dining halls are pretty good.
Yeah,
I
I
like
eat
the
at
food,
like
but,
the
like,
other places.
I still go out. Like, I still go get Five Guys or like something
Yeah.
like that. But it's
So
not that bad.
she must have some chefs at her school. 'Cause
Right.
At mine, half the food is pink.
Even for Terrell, he went to an HBCU, so he was thinking he's about to have Southern cooked meals and when he went on tour, they did prepare that on tour. They had a good meal, and when he got up there to actually eat, they had grilled cheese sandwiches with one slice of bread. That was the meal that they were served. So it's not good, in my personal opinion.
I try and go down to the dining halls on days that I know they're having tours because it's usually better food. So
Oh,
don't let
yeah.
that trick you.
How about you, Rashonda?
Okay, so the dining hall, the food they serve is always pasta and like it's vegan and like vegetarian. And we also have Subway and Grill Nation where they make chicken, onion rings, French fries, stuff like that. So like, it just needs more seasoning and more butter. But I mean, it's pretty cool. And then we also have the coffee house where we can eat like sandwiches and like Starbucks and stuff like that. And I mean, it's not too bad, but like I'm not local to like any other restaurants besides Subway, which is like on my campus. Cause like there's nothing but highways here. Like I can't go to Family Dollar. I can't go to Walmart to like buy like groceries. I have to have like a car, like Uber money. So it's really hard for that. But I mean, the food is all right here. It's not too bad, but it's not good.
Yeah, same.
When I was in a program called Higher Achievement, we used to visit Chatham University, and like they used to give us a tour of their campus. I think I went once or twice, and their food was actually good.
And
So
that's
it's like
the thing.
surprising me that you guys are saying it's nasty. Like they had ice cream machines and stuff. It was so good.
The food will be good for the tour days.
Literally.
For the tour days, the food will be good. Once you're actually on
And
campus,
they'll show you the biggest room in the dorms too.
they will. And see, once you're on campus, you're going to realize that y'all been getting served burgers every day. Them chicken tenders been sitting there since Monday. Today's Friday. So you going to understand once you get in there, it's not.
It's a
That's
whole
the
new
best
game.
advice you've given so far.
It's a whole new game.
Right.
Yeah, try and do a little Google search. Look
Yeah.
up if you can. Sometimes there's people on like Reddit complaining about their college's food. So that could be a good way to find out about that. Or ask someone that goes to that college if you know anyone that does. Ask about the food, size of the dorms, any tea that they have on the school. And
I wanted, if I can add something. Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Val. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you.
Hey,
Oh,
Mr. Val.
who is that? Oh my God. I
Mr.
miss you
Val.
so much. I miss you. I want to say that, when, working with Carla and learning so much about the college experience, I know when Candace decided she wanted to go to college and she got accepted to Pitt, Titusville. So I did go out on the day that, they have parent day. And I'm glad I did, because the dorm that they assigned her to was male and female in the same building. And, I could hear Carla's voice in the back of my head, like, whoa, who's in charge of this? No, I need to talk to you right now. Because I wound up getting her out of there, and they were like, oh, well, the doors are locked. I'm like, I'm sorry. No, my daughter's not going to be somewhere where boys are on one floor and the girls on another floor, and all they have to do is just push the door open, and then there's a whole thing going on. So we wound up getting her out of there into a house that had all females, and she had her own, she shared a room with someone, but no, she had her own room, but she had to share a bathroom. I was okay with that, but that didn't stop the shenanigans that happened in college.
Feel the same, Lavelle. It's even worse now.
Yeah, my dorm actually is not only like co-ed, girls and boys on the same floor, but boys and girls can room in the same room in my dorm. So, I mean, typically it's couples that do that because it's like older. My dorm is usually for juniors or seniors. And so couples will tend to do that. But my mom also, when we got there, and she was like, this is a boys' room. And I'm like, yeah, we all mixed in. And she's like, no, you're not. So, but I always lived. What'd you say?
Is that a new policy?
I'm not really sure how that began, where that.
I know that my cousin actually went to Kent State as well. Graduated 2 years ago, I think, and I know a lot of schools are doing that in terms of recognizing trans rights and the rights of trans students.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they were allowing couples to live together.
Yeah, so in the first time I found that out last year.
Pretty progressive, but that's some stuff.
It's only in a couple dorms. So I've lived in like we have these dorms called Centennials on our campus. There's like 6 of them, I believe. And you have your own room and bathroom, like all in one. So I've had the fortune of staying in those my whole lifetime. So I've never dealt with like co-ed bathrooms or anything like that. But last year was the first time I found out, right. I did not want co-ed, but last year was my first time finding out that like a girl and a boy can room together, because one of my friends, he transferred in the middle of the semester and his roommate lived with his girlfriend at first. And then once she left, he had to come into that room. And even in my dorm now, I know a couple of people on my floor, they room boys and girls. It's not all the dorms like that. I'm pretty sure like the dorms that I'm at are the only ones on campus that do that. But definitely look into that, which dorms are co-ed and which aren't. But typically the co-ed dorms are separated by floors, but it's not like you can't go on another floor. So that's why the shenanigans still happen, Miss Lavelle, because you can still go on any floor of the building that you choose. So look into that. Have your parents look into know what like
as long as you have feet, you can go anywhere, right?
Yeah, you can. And that's a hard thing. I know my mom was like, I don't want you in here with the boys in here. And I'm like, look, hon, it's out of your control now.
One of the other things too, when you do the tour of the school, find out what are their dining hours, because Candace at Pitt Titusville, their the lunch or the dinner hours ended like at 6, and she would be in class like from 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 or something, or whatever time it was. And when she would get out of her class, the location where they had the meals were closed. So definitely look into that. Also, if they have trips, like she had to do trips to Walmart so she could buy food. And also they had trips for like if they wanted to go to the movies and stuff like that. If you ever took a trip out to Pitt Titusville, first things first. I don't know if you all saw that movie where the little weird thing jumps out and attacks these people on the school bus. It's like Jeepers Creepers. There we go. That long road. I mean, when I get to that part, I fly. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm breaking. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, can't. I have to leave before dark. It is that road. I'm sure that's the road that they probably recorded that movie on. But it looks exactly like that, and for a long time, and then you start to see the town. So yeah, that was a little scary. So definitely look at when they do Walmart trips, because Cam would we would make sure we send her money for that. And then because by the end of the school year, we had paid for her to, her what is that, money card or something. At the end of the school year, she had like a couple $100 on it. So she like bought out all her juices and stuff when I went to pick her up. So yeah, definitely look at that dining time to make sure that you're able to get your meals or be able to get your meal a little bit earlier and just save it so you can have a meal later.
And then also with that, check meal plans too. I don't know how other schools work, but like for my school, they changed our meal plan so like you can only eat at a certain, once in a certain diner. So pay attention to like your meal plans and how like they work. Also, if you can put money on your card, see how that works, if the money can carry over or if it ends within the semester, because the last thing you want to do is like in the semester with like $200 something and it doesn't carry over, because you have to like literally eat that money up in your last couple weeks of school. So
I bought a lot of canned tuna at my school store the last day. I was like, give me the Campbell's chicken soup. It'll be fine.
Right. I always get like the smallest meal package because you can add to it, but you can't like, it won't roll over. So I'm like, if I run out, I know I can add how much more I need, but if I don't use it all, I'm out of it. And it's money that like you paid for it. So you want to like use it all up. Yeah, so check the different meal plans that your school offers.
You know what? This is blowing my mind. This is nothing the way I experienced college. We had dining halls where people were served. The food was good. We even had to get dressed for dinner.
Oh, new world, Miss B.
No, Miss B.
That's what I'm saying. My mind. Okay, go ahead. No man was allowed in the dorm at all, so that was another world. This is funny. I love it.
Were you gonna say something, Jeremy?
Oh, I was gonna say when I was at Rutgers, especially during finals, like kids would come in pajamas and stuff, and there were two kids in sweatpants who stole a waffle iron my second year there because it had like the Rutgers insignia in the waffle iron. I was like, y'all need some Emily Post training. Like, what's going on here? You'll need some etiquette.
People definitely go to dinner in their pajamas, looking all types of ways, Miss B. No one is dressed all types of ways. No one is dressed nicely for any hour of the day.
In fact, the guys, if they would come to the dining hall without a jacket, they would have to go back to the other dorms to go get a jacket on.
No.
Can you imagine?
You can be in our dining hall shirtless if you wanted to, Miss B. They wouldn't say nothing to you.
Too many rights.
Also,
it's fascinating. I'm enjoying this. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. We were talking about our cards. This is what mine looks like. So this is basically it's called my Panther card. I use it to get into my room. I use it for a meal swipe. If I want to get into the dining hall, I just have to swipe it. And it also has dining dollars on it. That's what mine are called. That's basically like your money you can go into. We have places where you can just go in and like buy a sandwich and take it out. It's not like a dining hall. It's called like market to go.
Yeah.
You can go in, buy a sandwich and leave. And everything is on this card. I also get free bus fare using it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly how my card is used as well.
Same. So it's very important. Don't lose it. I recommend getting a wallet on the back of your phone.
Yeah, because if you lose it, that school is charging you.
Yeah, ours costs $25.
How much?
For my school, if you lose it, it costs $25 to replace.
They was charging us $5, I think, for a school ID, and I was just like, why we gotta pay for a school ID?
Right.
I was in middle school at the time.
Ew.
Ours is 30.
30?
Yep, the 30 piece.
I really mine is like 25. So like last year, like I lost my keys, so I gotta pay like $15.
Yeah, my wallet was stolen from me last semester, so I had to buy a new card.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Are your keys, the key to your room is at your card as well?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? I keep hearing from Trinity. I haven't heard from anybody else. I know we have one senior on the call. Ranique or Danielle, Nicoya, do you all have any questions? It's a lot of information. Are they on, or can they unmute?
I don't have any questions.
All right. Well, if you ever have any questions, feel free to jump in. You can interrupt us. And also continuing on. Oh, so cute. Continuing on taking care of yourself physically. Oh, we have an extra presenter. Make sure you go outside every once in a while. Like today, it's a beautiful day, and I will be going outside after this. Move around, sleep regularly, and do your laundry. Sleep regularly. Make sure you're not going to bed at 4 a.m. every morning. Try and get yourself in a schedule. I know that was hard for me at first, especially have a roommate. You guys probably go to bed at different times. So one of us will have our lamp light on, but all other lights have to be off at a certain hour. So that's how we
Maddie, I actually wanted to ask, and I want to make sure that I posit this question to Tyra and Rashonda and Tyrese as well. But I know something I had a lot of trouble with when I was first going to school, which is longer ago than I'd like to admit now. But how did you go about establishing a routine for yourself when you don't necessarily have supervision, you don't have a bedtime, although mine was always 9:30, even when I was in college, because I'm lame. But how do you set that up for yourself? Are there any tools that you use? Did you go by what your peers and your friends were doing, or did you have to regiment yourself?
Well, I know some of my friends go to bed at crazy times. So I have like this iPhone has this thing where it like reminds you to go to bed. So once it hits like 11 o'clock, I'll get that reminder.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tyra. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, for me personally, my routine, I've always been like very independent. So like my mom never had to tell me like to do my homework or to study or to go to sleep or anything. Because back in high school and stuff, I was always like you, Mr. J. I mean, I would sleep by 9:30. But once I got to college, I kind of broke that a little bit because of like work and projects and things. So for me, my routine was class, work, and then anything else. So I always made sure that like I had a planner for myself for when my assignments were due, if I had an exam. I always wanted to get school out the way before anything. So if school was out the way by 8 o'clock and I know I don't have class until 11 the next morning, it's free game for me. I can go out with my friends. I can stay up if I want. I just know that like by 1 or 2, I should be asleep because I have class at 11 and I need my good 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So I would say like, as far as school, get your work done first. That was my only plan. This is what you're paying for. You're spending thousands of dollars on this. Do your work. And then the rest of your schedule, you'll be able to figure that out. But always build it around like your work and your exams.
Yeah, getting a planner is vital. I would forget so many due dates if I didn't have them written down and check it every single day. So
yeah,
and it's good to start practicing that in high school too.
Yeah, and like once your professors like put out your syllabus, it's like a very stressful process looking at it all at once. But for me this year, this is different than what I've done any other year. But this semester, since it's all online, I knew I would not be able to keep up with that on my own. So I just like pulled all my syllabuses up and wrote down literally every single due date exam for each class. It was color coded, and if it changed, I would adjust it. But I had to write it out. I actually have like my planner with me, but like looking at it is so stressful to like see all of these assignments and things like written out. But it's very beneficial because I have not missed. I did miss an exam, a quiz once, but we're not going to talk about that. I typically don't miss assignments and things, but yep.
I can add on to that, like by like a planner. For me, I have to like see it in person. Like I just can't keep flipping like the booklet over and over. Like I have to see it like in front of my face. So like I brought like a calendar where I can hang like on my wall, and I can just like write the due dates, and like it's right in front of my bed, so like I can see it every day when I wake up instead of like flipping the papers over. So like if you have trouble like reading something or like just picking things up and like you want to see it better, just like get a calendar for like Target. I think it's like $12 or like $19. It's not that expensive, but like it just helps me to see it like right in front of my face. Like I just can't just keep flipping pages over. But that's one beneficial thing.
Yeah, and that falls under taking care of yourself mentally. Staying organized reduces stress, and what also reduces stress for me at least is calling my parents. Try and call them once a week at least, calling grandparents, everyone else. It's good to have a support system still at home that you can contact every once in a while if you're feeling stressed.
Miss Maddie, did you just say once a week?
Yeah, once a week. I know that doesn't seem like a lot.
See, look, I'm the only kid, so wherever I go, my mom's coming with me. She even said that out of her mouth. So I don't know how you could talk to your parents once a week.
I miss them, but not that much.
I never got away with once a week. I don't know how y'all did it.
Once you're in college, like, I don't know, things are just different. So my freshman year, coming into school, like I just could not wait to leave. So I was like, I am not talking to you guys. I am not I am not coming home. You're not about to hear from me for a long time. Now I said that as I left, and of course, as soon as I get home, I'm like, Mom, this happened. Mom, what do I do about this? So like, you'll develop like however it goes for you. So if you're one, you talk to your mom every day, that's your girl, you're going to keep up with that. But there's also going to be moments where like you just might be a little too busy to do that, and you might just want to like take a break, take a step back, because this is your first time being independent and on your own, and it's your first time doing that. So it's a different experience. So I was always one to like, my mom had to know where I was too, and like being in college is very different because I don't have to say, oh, I'm going out, oh, I'm doing this. Like, you don't have to check in like that anymore. So that is also, and it was like very difficult for my mom because she's like, where are you at? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. It's late. Don't you think you should? It's fine. I'm good. So like, depending on your relationship is how much. So now I probably talk to my mom like once or twice a week, maybe. Sometimes it's a week or two before I like call her or she calls me, but it just depends on the relationship.
Mm-hmm. And that is very true. I know when Can left, you know, I think we think about us leaving and the children, you know, you as a child leaving, you're like, man, I'm out of here, deuces. But when you leave, there's an effect that happens to your parent as well, because they have been responsible for you, you know, from the time you were born to you till the moment that we had to cart you off to college. And then now that umbilicus cord is a little bit longer. So it's kind of hard for us to kind of keep track of you.
Oh, you muted yourself. You're muted, Miss Lavelle.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute you and I remuted you. I'm sorry. That was
okay. Stop muting me.
Sorry.
No worries. So I don't know if you heard everything that I said, but when you leave as a child and you're like, yes, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. Okay, that is your perspective of it. But you also you don't have to think about it, but be mindful of your parent has been with you from the day you were conceived up to the day, you know, we put you in a truck and took you to your school. So now we that umbilicus cord that we had that closeness, and then now you're like way far away, and then we're trying to deal with that situation too, and we're used to seeing you every day and having a conversation with you every day. Now you're going into your adulthood. I'm not going to say you're an adult. I'm going to say you're going into adulthood, because there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that title, adult. You can say, yeah, I am this age, but that doesn't mean you're an adult. So with me and Can, I told her, I said, I know you're trying to find your way, and I know I taught you well. Once a week at a minimum, I don't care if it's just a text, once a week, Call me. I know Carla's like, no, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Every
Yep, I see you. Oh, what class you in?
Every day, Life 360 and the Ohio State app.
So for Can, I mean, Can is very independent, and I was okay with her, you know, being that distance. Now, my son Mark, no, I got to talk to you every day. No, I need to know where you are, what you're doing. Are you in class today? But think about your parents' emotions that they're going through as well when you are now not right next to them and they don't hear your voice and they don't see you. So think of that as well. So me and Can, I'm like, just text me at least once a week. Right. Let me know you're okay. And if you want to call me, great. But if I don't hear from you in a week, I'm getting in a truck and I'm coming out there, and it's not going to be nice.
And that's
so
kind of a relationship that I had with my mom, because like in high school and stuff, I was very independent in a way. Like she didn't have to constantly check to make sure I was doing what I needed to do and everything was okay. But she was also like, if I'm like, oh, can I go here? Well, who are you going to be with? And it was always like, I'm independent, but I'm still not. And I'm like, you gotta, like, I need a little give here. If Terrell's done it, and like that was always my thing. Like, you're letting him do it, but not me. So like for me, going to college was my final, like, I can finally like do these things and make these decisions on my own. So like coming in for me, and like my mom knew too, like she ain't talking to me for a little bit. And like I still talk to her, but it wasn't like as often as we did being in the house. And then when
it's still
did talk,
what'd you say? It's still very important to keep up with your parents. I have a situation where a girlfriend of mine's daughter called her every Sunday afternoon, which is good. Then all of a sudden she didn't hear from her. And you know what? She hooked up with this guy and she didn't know where she was for 3 years.
3 years?
So think 3 years, yes. So it's really important to keep in touch with your parents. Yes. 3 years.
Me and my mom call each other like every other day with gossip. Like, oh, did you hear about this? Let me tell you what happened with this person. So,
but people can get into your lives while you're there being so independent, and you don't know what you're doing. So it's you have to be very careful. Yeah. True.
And if you don't really feel close to your parents, so you don't like talking about your feelings with them or anything, there's a lot of other mental health resources out there. I know at Pitt we have a ton of like therapists and people that you can go and talk to if you're ever feeling down. There's tons of different resources that they have. You can call someone. I know for Pitt has that. We also have like Mental Health Awareness Week. I don't know if other schools are similar to that, but I know Pitt has a lot of resources.
Yeah, Kent does as well. And a lot of schools do. You just have to like check their websites and stuff just to see like what is out there. There's different things for women and women's health. I'm not too sure if there's different things for men's health. That's not really a discussion, I don't think, which it should be, but there's a lot of different hotline numbers and programs. You just gotta like check out your campus.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good to go on to the next. Quick poll. All right. I want to hear from the high school students. All right. So for our high school students, you can go ahead and click which of these you are interested in joining when you get to college. And an RA is a residence assistant. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a person living on your floor that's in charge of everyone else that lives on your floor. So they make sure if you're having a roommate disagreement that you two work it out, or if it's really bad, she can help you guys find new living arrangements, he or she. All right, I see.
I think with my major, I really want to play college volleyball because I'm really good at that.
Awesome.
But I think with
towards it.
my major, I won't have time because I will probably always be studying.
Can't you be like D3 where you focus more on your education than a sport?
I know D3 is less strenuous, but I don't know a lot
Divisions
about it.
tend to depend on the school as opposed to the student, though. So you can't choose to play in a different division if you want to take it less seriously. You would have to choose the school based on what division you want to be in. But the thing to remember is that even if you don't want to play, if you want to play a sport, but you don't want to play like the official school NCAA division, there are always intramural and intramural leagues where you can get involved, have a similar experience, but have it be a little bit more laid back. I know when I was at Rutgers, I wanted to play lacrosse, but I didn't want to play lacrosse for Rutgers. And I certainly didn't want to hang out with the Rutgers lacrosse players. So I played like pickup games with some folks, and you know, it wasn't anything I could put on a transcript or anything, but it was fun and it gave me that outlet, and it was a great way to meet people. So
I think when you're at a scholarship level, that expectation is a lot higher. So if you want to play for the university, it's just a lot of organizing your schedule.
I would also say, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, what if you get a scholarship for like playing a sport or something, but you don't want that to be your main focus?
So I would say if you want to play a sport and you know that what your major is going to be require more of your time than the actual sport, you can always play in a club. And if there isn't a club for the sport, you can create one yourself. You just have to like meet with I forget who it is, but you could talk to your dean of students about it. You only need an advisor for like starting up a club. That's all you need is an advisor, and then to like spread the word about it. But you can definitely play a sport and not be on the team.
But if you get a scholarship, like from like say you're in high school and you play a sport, and someone see you and like they're like, I want you to come to this college because you're a great sports player. Like, can you still go to that school for that scholarship but not play the sport?
You would be playing the sport. You can major in whatever you'd like, but you still have to play the sport.
Do you have to like play in the games and stuff?
Yep, because that's what your scholarship is for. So you'd have to.
Yeah,
the sport is like the main priority basically, and they would want your time to be focused on the sport, and you would have to work your major around the sport when you're on scholarship. So football players,
scholarship for a sport is like doing work study kind of. If you don't show up, you're not going to get that money.
Yeah.
So when you're in a sport on scholarship, that's kind of like your job at that school. You go and you play, and then that pays for you to go to school.
So if you're slacking in your grades or you're slacking in like the sport, then your scholarship can be taken away from you.
So you have to be able to manage whatever you want to be in. Okay.
If you're slacking in a sport, it can take your scholarship away.
What'd you say?
What does the sport have to do with my grades?
If you received an athletic scholarship, that is their priority. Like, I mean, I know Miss Lavelle's son-in-law played for Pitt. He played football, and as long as he was playing, he could go for free. But when he stopped, or if he stopped playing, he had to start paying his tuition.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you also, with an academic scholarship, like you do have to maintain a specific grade point of average in order to keep your scholarship and stay on the team. So they'll say, I think it's like a 2.5 for most sports. You have to maintain that in order to keep your scholarship.
Yeah. And also there's a ton of other clubs besides like sports clubs that you can join. Like I'm in plogging club where it's basically just for volunteering. We walk around Oakland and pick up trash. And that's a good time. Good stuff for volunteer hours. It was really fun. Good way to meet friends. Playing sports is also a great way to meet friends. I see some of you chose joining sorority or fraternity. I don't know a lot about that, but I know that's a great way to make friends. Becoming an RA. If you become an RA, you get to live on campus for free and you get a free meal plan. So that is also a great option.
My sister, she said she gets a stipend too.
Stipend? Oh, she also gets paid. That's great.
But with being an RA, so like although there's a lot of perks, you do have to actually do your job.
Working hard.
You have to meet with your residents once a month, I'm pretty sure. You have to like do the bulletin. Like there's a lot of things that comes with being an RA. So yes, you get the perks of like living on campus for free and having a free meal plan and getting a stipend. But if that's not something, if you don't really care to like have somebody knocking on your door at 2 a.m. because they having problems with their roommate, then it might not be for you. I know personally for me and my mom were talking about that, and she was like really wanting me to do that. But we know that I'm the type of person who cannot perform a job like that. So we decided that it's best if I don't. Even my roommate last year thought that being an RA was a good idea for her, but she's never in the room. So there was residents knocking on the door and I'm opening it like, I can't do nothing for you because the RA isn't here. She didn't want to do her bulletin board. She wasn't meeting her deadline. So she had to pull back from that position this year because she was more focused on her social life and doing other things than she was on being in that position. So if you can handle that, definitely do it. It is very beneficial towards your pocket, but if you can't, then it is all right. You can find scholarships to cover those costs.
Yep. And there's also scholarships for studying abroad at Pitt. I know there was one that was specific for women who have never been out of the country. If you applied, you could get a scholarship to study abroad for free. And that's a great opportunity. And I'm assuming other schools probably have something similar. If you've never been out of the country, you can apply, see if you win. All right.
I'm actually studying abroad next semester.
Oh, exciting. Where are you going?
To Florence.
Nice.
Amazing.
It is exciting. You know, it's still up in the air because of COVID, but as of right now, it is still a go. The semester is different though.
Can you go back to the poll before this?
The poll before this?
Oh no. Okay, never mind.
This slide kind of talks about what the poll is about. If you're looking for something specific.
How long will you be there, Tyra?
Oh yeah, so from March to May. Originally, it was the full semester, but because of COVID, they're doing the first 8 weeks virtual, and then the second 8 weeks would be in Florence. So
exciting.
That is exciting.
March to May, Lord's willing, hopefully I get to go.
And universities encourage students to take a semester abroad. I mean, there's a lot of funding for that. And it's really encouraged for, regardless of what your major is, there's a project or program somewhere, regardless of, what you're studying. So if you have that opportunity, I know a lot of students that have done it and have loved the experience.
Mm-hmm.
My sister is supposed to study abroad, but it got canceled because Corona.
Yeah. With my major, it's required. So I actually can't graduate unless I go abroad.
Wow.
Unfortunately, because, if it was up to me, Tyra wouldn't be going nowhere. Spending all that money.
And those of you who are considering joining Greek life, a sorority or fraternity, here's some facts about it. It might not be so great depending on what school you're going to. So some schools don't crack down on hazing. I know Pitt has a no hazing policy and they're very strict about it. If anything happens there, they shut down the sorority or fraternity right away. They also can be expensive, about $1,000 a year, $500 a semester. And also, before joining any clubs or a sorority, fraternity, anything, intramural sports, make sure that you look at your workload and your syllabus for all of your classes before signing up for additional commitments. Because school comes first, social life comes second. Don't forget what you're at school for.
Right.
I have a few questions.
Sure, go ahead.
So for all y'all that are in college, did y'all get scholarships or do y'all pay for school for yourselves?
I didn't get any scholarships. The FAFSA basically covers for me, besides like the ones I have to take out. But yeah, my school didn't provide any scholarships for me, so the FAFSA is like my life.
Wait, what school do you go to?
I go to Pitt Greensburg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I am the opposite of Rashonda. FAFSA does not give me anything. So freshman and sophomore year, I had a lot of scholarships from high school, like from outside scholarships and from within my school. Junior year, that kind of slowed down because a lot of my scholarships were first year or 2 year. So for this year, I still have the scholarships from my school, but I didn't get any outside scholarships for junior year. And then I do have like the grant money that comes from Pennsylvania, but other than that, yeah, FAFSA's not my friend.
Yeah, FIA and FAFSA was math for me too. So I had a couple of outside scholarships coming in. And this year I was fortunate enough to get a housing scholarship for working for school to career. There's this thing called the Community Assistance Program at Pitt. So if you decide to go to Pitt, it's a great opportunity. You can work with, there's a ton of other places that people are placed, but you can work with kids, you can work with high school students, like I'm working with you guys. And yeah, it's a really great opportunity. And
Tyrese, do you have any scholarship information to share?
Scholarship information. As of right now, my only friend is Pittsburgh Promise. Only because with them, they're more cooperative. So like say if something didn't go your way your first year and it didn't go as you had planned, Pittsburgh Promise is like the pride and faith within scholarships mainly. So say if you applied to other ones and you got rejected, as long as you make that appeal for Promise, which you could make an appeal for any other scholarships, Promise will take it into consideration and will really believe like, yeah, this student really wants it, and they will make sure that you get your scholarship either in full or however much they have, though, that they make sure that they'll give you. I have a bunch of other scholarships too, like Chafee, FIA, FAFSA is one of them as well. Those are all good scholarships, but most of them definitely do require like a GPA range or a certain amount of credits in order to maintain that scholarship each year. So these scholarships just don't come, like they come for free, but they also come with a price. So yeah, it's also good to always look for more scholarships because there's never enough. The more scholarships you get, the more you're paying off. Say if you have a loan, you get a scholarship, you get a refund check, you could put that towards your loan. That's paying off your loan each step. Yeah, maybe not a lot, but the more you're paying off, the more of a better outcome you're going to have in your future with just those scholarships. So I will also definitely recommend to always look for more scholarships. There's never, that word enough is just not in there when it comes to scholarships.
So help me out then, because I was struggling this year trying to find something that I could apply to.
I have one more question. So y'all senior year, after you applied to colleges and got accepted to your colleges, was it hard for you guys senior year, or was it like easy? Because I hear a lot of people say it's easy, but then I hear a lot of seniors this year say it's hard. I'm a senior too this year, so it's hard.
So I think sometimes in high school, people think like once you get accepted to college, you're done and you don't have to work anymore. Colleges still look at your final transcript from school. So once you get accepted, that's amazing. That's great. But you're still in school. So keep doing your work, no matter what it is. You continue to work as you were to maintain a good GPA. I've known a couple students who, after they got their acceptance letter, they stopped coming to school, they stopped doing their homework, and they did not do a good job their final semesters. And scholarships were taken from them. You got your acceptance taken back from you. Colleges can reject you, even though they accepted you. If you decide that now that I'm accepted, I don't have to do anything else in school, and you end up with a 1.5 or something GPA, they can definitely say, you know what, we actually don't want you at our university or our school anymore. So continue to do your work as you were. Don't like, it might be difficult, it might be easier. It depends on your school, your workload, how you are academically, but you're not done once you got your letter.
I could talk about that too. Since I was a senior last year, so I understand like after you get accepted, you really want to stop, especially because it was Corona, everything was online. So, I mean, but you can't because, well, you still have school, even though it's online. You still have to try to have the same amount of work ethic, try to stay motivated. And like, there's still scholarships too. So you can apply for them even though you've been accepted, you could still look for other scholarships. And speaking of scholarships, there's like sororities and fraternities on the screen. You could look for scholarships from them, even if you aren't a member or you don't want to be a member of a sorority or a fraternity. Because I have two, one from both, one from a sorority and one from a fraternity, and I'm not in either one. But they do like book scholarships. The Deltas do book scholarships, and the Kappas, I think it's just like a regular tuition scholarship, but you can look into those for scholarships too.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Hi,
Yeah,
Tracy.
Iota Psi Phi. Was that Iota Psi Phi, Tracy, or what was that?
I think Iota, and then there was the Kappas, and then the Deltas.
Yeah. So, and those scholarships, Ranique, are now. They should be coming out now. And I just sent you a list yesterday from Miss Biggs from last week.
Oh, so, also, yeah, Miss Biggs, super helpful. She helped me get scholarships. So need is if your school has like someone like Miss Biggs or like a need person. Does everybody have that? Not everybody
working on it. They do now through School to Career.
Oh, well, that's good because she'll help you for scholarships.
Yeah, so she sends out, Ms. Biggs was our speaker last week, and she sends out weekly updates on different scholarships, different opportunities. But like we've said all year, especially this year, it's like you need to work at a scholarship, work on applying for scholarships like you have a part-time job, because it can pay you multiple years. Doing well in school can get you the school scholarship. And like Tyrese said, that money is based on your GPA. So you might need a 2.5 or 3.0. It's usually closer to that 3.0 mark if you're going to get a 4-year scholarship, and that can be extensive. So that's the one you really want, the one from the school. They have diversity scholarships now. There's a lot of COVID scholarships right now. So those are things you want to take advantage of now before they go away. I know last year there were a ton of scholarships where Pittsburgh Promise and FIA actually had a separate scholarship for, or separate grants for students that graduated during the pandemic. So keep that in mind. But if you apply, when you apply to colleges early, that's when you get that college scholarship money. Early admission is now. I think you all saw on the calendar where it's like stuff your application ballots before you stuff the turkey. If you're applying now, you need to, I've been saying it for like 20 years, Lavelle's nodding her head. You need to do it now. And I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but Catrice did the same thing. Catrice has a 4-year scholarship that covers 75% of what Ohio State charges, which is ridiculous because she's out of state. If you're looking at out-of-state schools, you need to add $10,000 on top of that tuition amount. So, you know, Tyra and Catrice are out of state. And if you don't get an out-of-state scholarship.
I really feel like the Pittsburgh Promise should be a distance thing because I'm closer to Pittsburgh than Temple is. Temple's 5 hours away. I'm only an hour and a half. So technically, I'm in Pittsburgh and she's not.
Right. Exactly.
I just feel like it should extend out to us. At least Ohio. I mean, we close enough.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, Miss Caller, Mr. Jeremy, I actually found out yesterday that I'm not just in advanced biology classes. I am in math and civics, actually. Awesome. So, do you guys think that being that I'm in 3 advanced classes, if I get into a college, which hopefully I am, do you think they'll put me in classes that are advanced?
You will, and I'm sure this panel can answer this. Do I need to shut up for this one? Do you all want to answer this, the AP classes?
As far as like credits, you talk to your school. Not all schools take AP credit. So depending on you would have to talk to your schools that you're applying to and see what credits transfer. And as far as like courses, you choose your classes. So your advisor, when you come in, everybody is like paired with an advisor. So your advisor will plan out your schedules with you and like what classes that you need to obtain like your degree. And you're take your set like major classes, but as far as like general education classes, you pick those yourself. So you can take them as advanced or as basic as you'd like.
Yeah, and depending what you got on, I'm not sure how they're doing it this year because I know SATs are kind of different with COVID, but you can test out of some gen eds, at least at Pitt, if you get a high enough math SAT score or like English writing SAT score.
Right. So my test score technically for the math one would have tested me out of math, but for my major, I had to take a statistics course and a microeconomics course. So depending on your major, what'd you say? Someone says something.
I didn't say anything, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so depending on like your major, depends on like what courses you have to take. But typically for general education courses, you choose which ones you want.
Well, I want to be a neurosurgeon.
You want to be a neurosurgeon?
Yes.
I don't know nothing about that.
Even though you're in a higher level bio class, they're still going to make you take biology at your school. But you'll be better prepared for it.
And if it's a dual enrollment, you can see if the school will accept it. If it's AP, like Maddie said earlier, if it's a 3, normally those are recognized by universities, but because your major is going to be, like a pre-med track, they may want you to score higher for them to use it.
About to say that too. Typically for those rigorous degrees, like being a doctor and stuff, no matter if you had the credits from high school, you still have to take that again, just because it's very crucial to everyone's safety.
The foundation, yeah.
Make sure you're prepared for them.
Right. So high school biology is not the same as being a biology for a doctor. Because even the little basic biology class I've took can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, because I wanted to become a neurosurgeon, and I said no because bio is just not for me. It was just too much work. I couldn't handle it.
It is. It's hard.
All of my classes. So like I'm switching to like a math major, probably to like accounting or like banking, because I don't know what else I'm good at besides math. So I decided bio wasn't for me. So, but yeah, I want to say that because like I also want to become like a neurosurgeon. So like that was like something that was like somewhere to me. So like yeah, it's easy, but it's not hard. It's just like too much work. But like I believe you can do it. So yeah, keep that faith.
Keep the faith.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work, like she said. I mean, if it was easy, everybody would have PhDs. So, it is a lot of work, and getting those AP and advanced placement classes now are beneficial for when you're in college, because it does help prepare you when you get there. I know we had a student a few years ago, and he wanted to take either advanced AP physics or AP calculus. I don't know if you remember, Lavelle, what Amari took, but he had to change schools because they didn't offer it at UPrep. So if there's something you want to pursue and they don't have an AP level, you want to make sure that you can petition Pittsburgh Public School to transfer you to a school that offers that. So it is possible if you're not being challenged to ask for something more challenging at a different one of Pittsburgh Public Schools.
Mm-hmm. It's getting kind of late, but this
was
our
good.
Last slide. Basically just tips for how to deal with academics and a more rigorous schedule. Pay attention to the syllabus. The syllabus is basically all of the due dates outlined on one magical document that your professor will give you, and all of their grading policies. So like Tyra said earlier, write all of those down in your assignment book as soon as you get it so that you can't miss anything. And establish good study habits for yourself. Make a environment that you can be productive in. So I try not to watch Netflix or anything at my desk. When I'm at my desk, I'm either working or I'm doing homework. I watch Netflix in my bed just so I don't get tempted to watch Netflix while I'm over here. Also, find places to study out of your room. This is a picture of Hillman Library at Pitt. I love going there. If you go on the top floor, it is silent. No one's allowed to talk. I think other colleges have similar rules for their library where they have one floor where it's silent. And that works good for me. Also form study groups and don't procrastinate.
Right. See, I'm the opposite. I can't study in locations that's not my room because I tend to get distracted by everything else around me. So I could be in the library and end up staring at the bookshelf for like 3 hours and not study. Or I might see a friend in there and I'm like, oh, I'll study with you. And we're just talking for like 5 hours. So my best studying gets done in my room at my desk. But yeah, I definitely agree. Do not procrastinate. For me, like I always have to like complete an assignment before the deadline. So if something is due Monday, I'm gonna try to get it done tonight just because one, I want my weekend, and then like two, you never know like what's going to happen. You might try to turn it in and it crashes, or like there's always like some sort of issues that can go on. So it's best to get things done like before the due date, not working up to the due date.
Are you guys in college classes online like us?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
I have
awful.
one in-person class.
You have one in person?
Yeah, which is math, and I wish all of my classes were in person because I don't feel as active as I was last year with my classes. I'd have to just stay in my dorm. I recommend going to like study rooms, like that's inside like the resident halls, because I can't study in my room, but the study halls definitely help.
I do like the study rooms inside the dorm.
Yeah.
I like the library is pretty good too.
I forgot we have
So,
studies.
so for you guys who are in college, is it stressing y'all out? Is it different than online rather than in person?
Yes. I feel like I am not learning anything right now, especially to be in my junior. So your junior year of college is your most stressful year. Junior and senior year, but like junior year mostly for me because like I said earlier, my major requires me to study abroad and it requires me to intern, and I have to minor. So I have like 3 requirements with my major. Because of COVID, there was some mishaps with my minor. I had to end up changing it. Internship still up in the air, but that's supposed to be for summer. I'm not grasping the concept of any of my courses. I'm like 2 weeks behind in one of my classes, had an exam Monday in it, forgot that I had the exam, ended up taking it and getting it turned in 5 minutes before it was due, but still I'm 2 weeks behind in it. So I don't know how well I'm about to do. It's stressful because college, and like we were talking earlier about our professors, how they're not like teachers in high school. They don't really care. They're not checking in to say like, do you understand what's going on? It's like, here's the assignment. This is such a terrible time. You also have 2 more assignments, a quiz and an exam due by Friday. Have a great day. So it's not fun. I've literally had an exam every single week since the semester started.
Since you started, you had an exam already?
Yeah, I mean, quizzes. I had like quizzes the first like week, but after like the 3rd week, yes, it was an exam every single week in at least 2 of my classes. So.
And everybody, I'm going to have to get off. I'm so happy to see everybody.
Nice to see you too, Miss B.
Nice to see
And
you, Miss
Rashonda,
B.
I haven't seen you either.
Yeah,
Miss B's coming back for.
I have another
all
Zoom
of
meeting.
them.
I was started a half hour ago, so I'm going to get the last
Go
half hour.
ahead. Go to your Zoom
See you,
meeting,
Miss
Miss
B.
B.
Okay, bye everybody. I love all of you.
I'll talk to you later.
Whenever you're around, come and see me.
I will. We will.
And Miss
I'm
B
looking
will be on
forward
next
to it.
Friday's meeting.
Okay, I'll see you next week. Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks, Miss
everyone.
B.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Nice meeting you, Maddie.
You too. Nice to meet you.
Okay, bye-bye.
And this was the last slide I had, so we can have a little Q&A if you guys have more questions.
Ranique, have you started looking at schools yet?
Yeah, I started to apply for schools and scholarships now.
Okay. One of the things I suggest is the essay. It's very helpful when you're applying for scholarship, especially from the school. Do the essay. It's not optional. They'll tell you it is. It's not. That's how they unlock the school scholarships. Those are full scholarships, partial scholarships, diversity scholarships. So that essay is critical. You also—
You should have been told me that. I already applied to all them schools.
You know what? We've been doing this all year. All year. We were doing this last year. We're doing this all this year. I am on this Zoom 5 days a week. You all, I've never shut you all off. I haven't seen you. This is the longest you've been on a Zoom all year. So you can still, you may be able to go back and add that, because if you're haven't been accepted, you can see. But that unlocks all of those scholarships. We had a whole scholarship session, like what, a month ago?
You can also, I know this is a little stretch, but if you really want it, you can email the dean of students at the college and say, like, I sent in an application and I just wanted to answer this question. Like, you can definitely email the dean of, like, whoever it is that you have to, whoever handles that. And
if it's one of the local schools, yeah, and if it's one of the local schools, we might know somebody at that school. So we can have a side conversation to see, you know, who that was. But that always unlocks cash. And I know I've been saying it because that's how Catrice got her scholarships. That's how you apply for the honors college, how you specifically apply for the school that you're going to. You know, if you want to be in the marketing program or in the dental program, those all require separate essays.
I applied to a few. I only got, I applied to one and it was like the school I wanted to go to, and then I felt like I should have stopped. But then I was like, oh, I need to finish. So I just applied to a couple schools and I got accepted to the first two.
Okay.
So maybe the rest.
Congratulations. I mean, that's great. That is great. I mean, I'm not saying that you're out of scholarship consideration, but I know it makes a difference. It makes a huge
I need the difference too.
I mean, because when we went to visit schools, they were saying, so what you take AP, so what you take IB, so what you're in honors, so what you're in dual enrollment. Everybody is. So what makes you different? And they want you to write your essay to let them know why you're different. Why are you so special? Why should I give you $20,000 a year? That's what that essay tells them. So you have to show yourself apart from everybody else. You know, you're in a program like School to Career. You've done volunteer work. You've done things at your church. You've done things in the community. That makes a difference. Submit your resume. All of that. It's a package when you apply for school. Letters of recommendation. I didn't know you applied because I didn't write you a letter. So again, those are things that should have been happening. It's not too late, but it's a package. I mean, people are like, oh, just go ahead and fill out the common application and that's all you need to do. You will get accepted. Getting accepted is awesome. Getting accepted with money is better. That's what you want. You know, you want somebody to say, for the next 4 years, you get $80,000 total. So that means $20,000 a year.
It's a lot better.
It's a lot better. I mean, I sold both of my children. Maurice went to Penn State because they offered him money. Tracy's at Ohio State because they offered her money. And it's like, I'm not saying that, you know, you can have them for life, but my kids were for sale. I cannot afford Ohio State. She'd have been at CCAC on my dollar. So you got to look at it. I mean, as a parent, I'm like, no, we going all in. We gonna write these scholarships. I thought I was gonna write a couple. She's too honest for that. But I'm like, whatever you need to do to get this money, we're gonna do it. So it's not too late. And I mean, like I said, give me a call or, you know, text me and we can, you know, redo some stuff.
Yeah, we need our yearly meeting because I need help.
Okay, I got you.
I hope y'all S2C peoples know that y'all still on my letter of recommendation list and references. So as long as y'all know.
Megan's our speaker at the end of the month. I've been doing recommendation letters for her for 10 years. She applied for the LSATs. I'm like, she's like, I need a letter. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm applying for internships. I hope y'all know.
All the time. But that's what we're here for.
Carlos. Oh, word. These are all my references.
All the time. All the time. That's what I'm supposed to do, you know. So it's you know, whatever school to career exists because of you all. So whatever we have to do to help you all get to where you need to be, just ask us. You know, when we're sitting on this Zoom and we don't know, you know, what's going on, and I'm sending out text messages, bands, calling your mamas, you know, it's not because I just have to see you. I don't know. I can't help. I can't do if I don't know what's going on. Right. So you all have to tell us. Absolutely.
It's just like this year's real stressful. You know, I'm trying to do school. And then I think I had a job. I don't know. I called off too many times. So I don't know if I have one no more. It's just a lot. Yeah, so I'm trying
What two colleges did you get accepted into?
RMU and Point Park.
Okay, and we know somebody at both of them. Actually, our ED knows their president at Point Park. And Point Park has that. What's that scholarship, Tracy? Who because you and Cheyenne got it. What did Point Park? They have the president scholarship,
right?
Is that what you called it?
Pretty sure presidential.
Something? Yeah, they have the presidential scholarship. I want to say it's how much? I'd have to look, but it's an annual scholarship. So you can go back and do the essay for Point Park. RMU, I can't remember, but we've been there. Their president is Black too. So I'm sure we can find somebody we know. I know, where's Terrell work? He might be at RMU. Jeremy, the guy from the one that was at our college fair.
Yes, RMU.
Okay, so yeah, we know people at RMU and Point Park. So
RMU is the one that I applied for and quit applying for schools. I really wanted to go to RMU, but they're expensive.
Yeah. They're all expensive.
The presidentials, it's $20,000.
It's $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Point Park offers that. That was vice president. I think the presidential scholarship is $28,000, and that's a year. They're high too, because that's basically a private school. There's money out there. There is definitely money out there. You just want to be proactive about it. But yeah, we can look at RMU. Absolutely. Any other questions? Look, you know me, always taking over the meeting. Any other questions for our homecoming edition speakers?
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Trinity. Awesome. I guess we're all done then.